In the back of the book segment tonight, it seems nobody is safe from North Korea's power-crazed leader Kim Jong-un, not even those who were once nearest and dearest to him. Late yesterday, the young dictator executed his uncle, a one-time mentor and father figure who is now being portrayed as a traitor. And just a few months ago, he ordered the killing of his old girlfriend. And remember, this guy has a nuclear weapons program. Joining us now from Washington, Fox News strategic analyst, Lieutenant Colonel Ralph Peters, a former Army intelligence officer and the author of the book Hell or Richmond. Thanks for joining us, Colonel, on this story. Kim Jong-un, boy, it gets weirder and weirder, crazier. He's 30 years old. He's power-hungry and crazed already.
Yeah, but, you know, with killing his uncle, Eric, let's be fair. Who among us hasn't wanted to kill a relative or two over the holidays? No, but very seriously, this is truly something to worry about. I think the media bonzes have gotten this one utterly wrong. You're reading in the papers about a division in the leadership of North Korea. No! What killing his uncle tells you is there's no division, and no division will be tolerated. Kim Jong-un is indeed, as you have said, power-crazed, power-mad, and we're dealing with a nuclear-armed Nero or Caligula. I mean, if you want to understand this guy, put aside the dry diplomacy textbooks. Study Suetonius and the crazy Caesars. This is incredibly dangerous at a time when China is acting very aggressively in the East China Sea, nearly colliding with one of our ships, declaring air defense zones. Our allies, the Japanese and South Koreans, are at loggerheads with one another. Man, I will be amazed and delighted if we can get through the next few years without it.
Yeah, so he takes over 2 years ago, and the world was waiting to see. It was billed as he's going to be the reformer. He's going to modernize North Korea. Instead, he replaced most of the senior leadership. As you say, the region becomes less stable rather than more stable. And the big one, he's got nukes, and he's not afraid to test some of those missiles too around the peninsula. We should be worried about this guy, should we not?
Well, we certainly should, because he is surrounded by more yes men than President Obama. I mean, this guy really doesn't have a grip on reality. He's almost destined to miscalculate, to overjudge his capabilities. His military leaders aren't going to tell him, oh, we can't do that, fearless leader. And so the potential for a miscalculation is enormous. And most wars don't start because of a master plan. They start because somebody does something really dumbass stupid.
Yeah. So he kills his uncle, he kills his girlfriend, but he embraces Dennis Rodman.
The human heart is a crazy beast.
All right, so let's also talk about something.
I can't even respond to that, Eric.
I want to turn the topic back to something we talked about earlier with Colonel Tony Schaefer. It's Robert Levinson, the former FBI, who may or may not be a rogue CIA agent somewhere in Iran. Your thoughts on that one?
Well, one, I find myself in the embarrassing position of agreeing with Jay Carney on something. The AP should never broke this story. This should never have been put in the headlines because it makes it much, much harder, if not impossible, for Iran to quietly give him back.
But Colonel, was that? I mean, he's been gone since 2007. The AP found out about it around 2010. They said they'd wait. They said they'd wait. They waited 3 years. And it doesn't seem like the administrator that we're any closer to getting Levinson or even finding out where he is. So they went with it. That's a bad idea.
Well, you know, I think it is a bad idea because, you know, it's a separate issue with this administration. The Obama administration hasn't tried to help Americans imprisoned in Cuba, taken hostage in North Korea, or other Americans in Iran. The Obama administration doesn't protect its citizens. That's a given. Nonetheless, the best hope for getting this guy back, if he is still alive, Eric, would have been quiet diplomacy, some kind of quiet swap. But now you made it a macho thing with Iran.
Well, can I push back on you a little bit, Colonel?
Sure. You push back at me all you want. I'll push you.
For me, the best diplomacy would have been when they're negotiating this nuclear deal that they negotiated over the last month or so.
You're right.
That would have been a great time to talk about that.
Absolutely. You're absolutely correct. We should have said to the Iranians before all this broke that, hey, you're hurting from sanctions. No deals of any kind, no talk until you give Levinson back. But Obama cares about the deal, not about individual Americans and their fates.
Unfortunately.
It's just a tragic situation.
Yeah, it is. It is. Colonel Peters is going to say thank you very much. Up next, Vice President Joe Biden. Now what to buy? The most powerful man in the world for Christmas, moments away.